SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Discover the Copiah Advantage. Copiah County is a Mid-South gem with a spirit of opportunity, a business-friendly environment, and access to major transportation networks. Copiah County, let's do business. Visit copiahworks.com today and discover the Copiah Advantage.
From the SuperTalk Network, I'm Paul Gallo, and this is Mississippi Magic. In the annals of recorded music in this country, there have been just a few artists who've produced songs where some of them have been so powerful and influential, they not only topped the music charts, but also became statements for political and cultural movements in America. Now that's rarefied air, achieved by very, very few. Well, this episode's Mississippi legend broke the glass ceiling when she rewrote the book as one of the music industry's top artists whose influence was seen on the top of the charts and movie themes, in political speeches, on debates, in soap operas, and even documentaries and movies about her own incredible life. Some of that attributed to her survival against what most people would see as insurmountable odds. With so many things stacked against her, Virginia could have easily claimed victimhood early on in her life, but she didn't. And because of that, she leaves behind a lifetime legacy of victory. So it seems fitting that this episode of Mississippi Magic be called From Victimhood to Victory. After this, from the good people who make this possible, our friends at Divinity Equipment. Did you know that since 1967, Divinity has sold and serviced New Holland tractors? Then in 1969, they added Kubota, which makes Divinity Equipment the oldest Kubota dealership in all of America. And from 1967 to this very moment, Divinity's goal is to exceed your expectations. And for everyone who becomes a Divinity customer to know that you've received the best price, and the best service possible. That's been their commitment since 1967, to develop a lifetime relationship with you for all of your equipment needs, not just a one-time sale. For service, rental, parts, and equipment specials, come visit Divinity Equipment online at divinityequipment.com or in Jackson on Raymond Road, in Madison on Highway 49 North. Since 1967, they've been putting a bit of Mississippi magic in every Divinity deal. Come get yours. Virginia came into this world on a spring day in a Mississippi town that boasted a couple of hundred souls, give or take a few moving through. Nothing unusual about that, except most country kids found comfort in the company of a lot of siblings. For Virginia, that wasn't the case. Her father died of a brain tumor before she was old enough to walk. She never knew her dad. Her mother fought the circumstances by taking multiple jobs before finally she surrendered the battle. Her mother picked up and left behind the small community and a small child, taking another job in another state. Now at 7 years old, without any brothers, sisters, mom, or dad, and in the care of grandparents in an isolated home in the backwoods of Mississippi. No running water, no indoor toilet. Virginia was left with only dreams to help her escape the loneliness of her existence. There were a couple of things left behind. Before her father died, he was an accomplished musician. At least that's the stories told to her by her grandparents. And what he left behind would ultimately change her life and cause the music charts to be dominated by this Mississippian in the years ahead. At 9 years old, after school, and after working in the cotton fields all day, when she wasn't at school, that guitar and a piano, also left by Dad, became her refuge and her reason to dream. From singing at the small hometown church, it was easy to see that this little girl had talent and drive. And then as she gained more experience and confidence, Virginia added to the gospel songs some country and even rock and roll. She was off and running. In her young teenage years, she expanded those performances on talent programs. Virginia's simple, uncomplicated dream was to escape the loneliness, the isolation of being a single child once and for all. And you know, when you look back at the life story of Virginia, it really does seem that was always a void she constantly tried to fill. How? She became a teenage bride at 17 years old, Searching to find that perfect family, she ultimately was married 5 times with a total of 4 children. Many times wondering where the next meal would come from. But through it all, Virginia never claimed to be a victim. Even at 17 years old, she was smart enough to know the difference between dreams and reality. The dreams were to be a singer, a star. The reality was that she had to have a job. To that end, she went to cosmetology school and she became a licensed cosmetologist. Another victory in a world of victimhood. When she wasn't working as a cosmetologist, she was performing as much as possible to make ends meet, paying the food and medical bills for a growing family because she was a single mom with her first divorce ending after 5 years and 3 kids. Those gigs provided her the extra money, the experience, and the therapy, a good place to carry your burdens in the words of a song that emanated from the soul. That continued commitment earned Virginia a bit of Mississippi magic. She moved the kids to Nashville, and there, each performance drew bigger crowds and bigger names. And then, what seemed a whirlwind of dreams coming true. The early 70s found the Mississippi girl ruling the music charts. In just 2 years alone, Virginia had 5 number 1 hits. 5 that reached mega status. And she did it through all the turmoil, all the loneliness, and yes, all the pain. You see, Virginia was also plagued with a lot of serious physical ailments, though most who watched her performance would have never known. She had at least 26 major surgeries during her lifetime. The legendary hits that Virginia sang that dominated the airwaves, movies, music history came from deep within her own life experiences, and she related that with millions of others in a way only her talent could do. When Mississippi Magic came into full bloom in the life of this small-town girl, she found herself on the big stage, and changes happened fast. One of those included her name. Story goes that during a meeting where she was signed to Epic Records by the legendary producer Billy Sherrill, he said Virginia reminded him of a movie star in his favorite movie, and she should change her name from Virginia. You see, when she met with the famous producer, she had her blonde hair in a ponytail, and the producer Sherrill said, and I quote, "For all the world, you remind me of Debbie Reynolds in my favorite movie," end quote. From that moment on, Virginia Pugh changed her name from Virginia to Tammy, the ponytail girl played by Debbie Reynolds in Cheryl's favorite movie. It took a bit of getting used to, but she did. The little girl who grew up in Mississippi left behind the name of Virginia Wynette Pugh and began an historic career as Tammy. And her songs ruled the charts and established the power of women in country music. Powerful songs that were written on the pages of life's trials and tribulations of broken marriages. Songs that became so influential they crossed from music charts to the news headlines.
Our DIVORCE becomes final today. Me and little J.O.E. will be going away. I love you both and this will be pure H-E-double-L for me. Oh, I wish that we could stop this DIVORCE.
You know, I'm not sitting here as some little woman standing by my man like Tammy Wynette. I'm sitting here because I love him and I respect him and I honor what he's been through and what we've been through together. And you know, if that's not enough for people, then heck, don't vote for him.
Through it all, Virginia Wynette Pugh, from the little community of Tremont, Mississippi in Itawamba County. Even as superstar Tammy Wynette, even while married to George Jones, even while performing with Loretta Lynn, Porter Wagner, and just about every other major country music star. Tammy Wynette, throughout her entire life, never ever let her cosmetology license expire, just in case. A final testament to her commitment to never let victimhood stand in the way of victory. But as history records, of course, she never needed it again, thanks to her incredible talent and a bit of Mississippi magic.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.